Okay, so here it is. This is going to be the tutorial on this evil boy illustration. It is basically not going to be a step-by-step, not going to be a how-to, more of a process, more of thinking how to draw. This is how we design. This is how we create. This is what's going through my mind as I'm creating. It's not made for artists that don't have any skills or talent already. I mean, it's more for people that are trying to push it or trying to figure out how does another artist handle this problem. So with that being said, I'm starting this with the sketch already done. I already got the sketch and some layers already created. The reason for that is I don't want to spend too much time showing you my crazy way of sketching. There's plenty of ways to sketch an image, and I do have reference for this. Again, I'm not going to be getting into the reference and all that. We're mainly focusing on the actual rendering aspects of this, from sketch to the final process. With that being said, I will show you I have a sketch, and as you can see, I already have my layers, and so it's broken down into layers, and basically I copy my sketch over top of it so that you can see what's going on, and I always have something to go back to. I consider that my roadmap, and I basically work in black and white to begin with. The real reason for that is I just don't like too much information at once, to be bombarded by color information, material information, anything like that. So with black and white, I'm starting out sort of in the mid-range. I'm not doing my extreme darks, not doing my extreme lights. As you can see, I got a layer here that has kind of this gradient on top of a white that actually becomes a problem after a while. You'll see that later. I should have actually merged those and been doing all these sketching and the highlights and shadows. Well, actually, I'm just working on shadows and midtones right now. Should have been doing those on the same layer, because when it comes to blending, you're going to run into issues of it not blending actually what you're seeing. So where I am right now, basically I have basically my background layer, which has all the illustration I'm working on now. I have a layer on top of that, which is hair, which technically I didn't need an extra layer for. I just wasn't sure what I was going to do towards the forehead area, so I decided I'd leave that in its own layer. And then of course on top of that I have my initial sketch. Now I'm using a soft brush kind of just to soften up without blending, soften up some highlight areas, give me something to work with. And sometimes the soft brush is also a good way of getting extra color in there. I'm trying to get this eye to be the same level as the other eye. I mean, not level as in plane, but level as in detail. Working on the socket shadows. Again, just blending things out. Again, working on this, not 100% dark. I mean, not your darkest dark, not your highest contrast. I think that really helps, because once you start working in that aspect of things, you start realizing, like in that eye socket, you have not just a dark shadow, but you have a dark shadow, and even the shadow has light. Gotta zoom out, take a look at things, see how things are looking, see if things are working the way you want them to work. There I am lining up this chin, saying, what is going on with this chin? Something's not right. So I check my sketch and say, oh, you're right. Something isn't right. So now I got to kill all this noise. And again, it's just make a shape, fix it up, looks ugly. So we got to add some lines, erase some lines. And see, with that, I'm not even using the eraser. I just sampled the background color and just use that and just paint it over top of it. Like I said, sometimes I think brush strokes are better than erasing strokes. I mean, you'll get some artifacts in there which actually help out the illustration more so than hurt the illustration. If you just erase, you can see right here, I went a little dark with that shadow. So, I mean, at some point you got to balance it out. Zoom out to get a better view of what's going on. Of course, give it a quick save. Now, see, I've tossed in a layer. Right now it's just a normal layer and I'm plugging in my color. I know I want the shirt to be this orangish color, so let me just plug it in. Again, I am sloppy with it. I am not trying to be perfect, not trying to be beautiful with it. I just want the color there. I'm doing it on a normal layer right now. I always do it on normal first just so I can see what's being covered and what isn't being covered. I actually even see now I'm just basically trying to figure out what mode I want it. I separate these. Basically, I am doing each section on a different color. I mean, each color on a different layer because I am not 100% sure, guaranteed what colors I want to use. I mean, that's the best way. That's the best way to keep all that separate. If you know what colors you want, it might be a better idea to go ahead and do it all on the same layer to avoid gaps. I mean, you can just do overlays of colors. I'm just doing basically different shades of the same color, just different frequencies. And again, I test to see how it looks. Now, hair, for blonde hair, I use the same skin color. Usually sometimes lighter, usually sometimes darker. I think most of the time I go darker with hair. I mean, you can always do the highlights lighter, but again, I'm just checking my different formats. And I think I chose color for all three of them. I mean, there's no need to. And there you have it. There's an illustration. Hope you enjoyed it. I had fun doing it. This is the first one that I'm doing to put out there to the public. Hopefully you guys grab it up. Hopefully you learn something. And if you like it, you can shoot me off an email. Let me know what I can add, what I can take out, if there's any questions. But then again, thanks for checking it out. I'll see you next time.